There comes a moment in every life when silence feels heavier than the truth. For Demi Moore, that moment arrived late, after decades of carrying humiliation, heartbreak, and the quiet cruelty of being diminished in public while trying to hold her private world together. At 62, Demi no longer speaks as the flawless Hollywood icon people once projected onto her. She speaks as a survivor of broken homes, broken promises, and an industry that rarely forgives women for aging or hurting. This isn't a story about fame. It's a story about what that fame cost her, especially in the hands of the men she loved and trusted. 1. Bruce Willis, the first shattered illusion. When Demi met Bruce Willis in 1987 at the Stakeout premiere, she was emotionally raw, fresh from the collapse of her relationship with Emilio Estevez. Bruce swept in with charm, confidence, and the easy swagger of a rising star. They married quickly, and to the world, they were magic. Action hero and leading lady, Hollywood's royal couple. Behind closed doors, it was far more complicated. Demi stepped back from career opportunities to build a home, raise their 3 daughters, and give Bruce the stability he said he wanted. Work kept him away for long stretches, rumors circled, questions built. But Demi swallowed them down, terrified that the truth might destroy the only family she had ever tried to build from love instead of survival. When their marriage ended in 2000, the public praised their graceful divorce. Demi, however, spiraled into emotional collapse. In private, she was left with a haunting question. Had she ever really been seen as an equal partner, or just as the woman holding the fort while someone else chased glory? Over time, she rebuilt a different kind of relationship with Bruce, one centered on their children, boundaries, and hard-earned clarity. 2. Ashton Kutcher, the blow to her self-worth. If Bruce cracked her belief in forever, Ashton Kutcher attacked something deeper, her sense of worth. They began dating in 2003, Demi in her 40s, Ashton in his mid-20s. Hollywood mocked them relentlessly, turning her into a punchline. She tried to believe their love could outlast the noise. She used her influence to support his career, stood proudly at his side, and bent her life to match his much younger, high-energy world. But the age gap and the pressure around it gnawed at her. Demi pushed her body to extremes. Diets, workouts, procedures, trying to hold back time and the fear of being replaced. When she learned of his infidelity, it wasn't just the betrayal that broke her. It was the feeling that every insecurity she'd ever had about not being enough had just been stamped as truth. Months later, she collapsed from emotional and physical exhaustion and was hospitalized. In her memoir, Inside Out, she doesn't just describe a cheating scandal, she describes losing herself. "I changed everything to be what I thought he wanted," she admits, and still it wasn't enough. Ashton moved on, remarried, and rebuilt his image. Demi chose a different path: therapy, distance, and eventually forgiveness. Not of others, but of herself. The collapse and the return. By the time the dust settled, Demi Moore was done living as a reflection of other people's needs. She began again, not as the perfect star, not as someone's wife, but as a woman who finally understood she didn't have to bleed to prove she was worthy of love. Today, at 62, she chooses her work and her relationships with intention, not desperation. The men in her past shaped her story, but they no longer own it. Speaking the truth isn't revenge. For Demi Moore, it's freedom.